Okay, so here we are in Maya again, and I'll be showing you rendering, but first we've got to set up everything ready for this render. Now I'll just turn down some of this, get rid of some of this stuff so we can do it again, and turn down some of this resolution just for this special features video. We don't want to be sitting here too long waiting for things to render. Alrighty. So, here we have our island, our basic island environment, with our tree model that I found online, but I had to make my own textures for that one, and our stitch model that's been posed using the soft selection tool here. So I only affected some of the vertexes, and then I could adjust what was where. Okay, and then after posing's all done and got our island set up, we'll make an ocean to go with this. So I just used the inbuilt ocean and then edited it a little bit. So just go to Dynamics, Fluid Effect, Ocean, and create ocean. There we go. Now it's not big enough at the moment, so we just bring it out like that. And do a quick render. Just to see what it looks like at the moment. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Now I want to probably make it a bit calmer, the ocean. So just hop into this here. Oops, sorry. And we'll there we go. Got the right one selected now. Probably just bring this height scale all the way down. Then do another render, test render, just to have a look here what it looks like. There you go, calmer, a lot nicer. Now there's no skybox or any light sources yet. So what we'll do is, now normally we would just create lights and place them accordingly, but for this I wanted to create a skybox at the same time. So what we'll do is go into rendering, and go to our render settings. I'll just use this button here. Okay. Render settings. Go to indirect lighting here, and we can create a physical sun and sky. So create that. Now that creates it on whichever camera you are using at the time. So it's on my perspective one, which is okay. Then just I could have left it down there and adjusted the direction, but I like to put the light around the position that the sun would actually be. So let me just rotate around like that. There we go. And hopefully should look a lot nicer this time. And of course we can make some adjustments to that light, make it change the color, make it a bit yellower, heighten, lower the intensity, but of course we'll just see what this looks like first. Yeah, and there we go. It's very nice looking now. Very desert islandy. I think it's pretty good, casting a nice shadow from the tree there. And now we'll set up how to do a turntable animation, but let's do it in our space. So we'll just open up this one. Alright, now before we do any of this, I'll show you my space box or skybox. With this one I just created a cube and then found an image of some stars on the internet, hit them in Photoshop, gave them a nice lens blur, and cut it out to fit the UV mapping that I saved from this cube. And then I've set up some lights here. You can see our turntable camera that we're going to make. We'll make that one again, so I'll just delete that one. And I'll just turn down the render settings again, just for the sake of getting this done a bit quicker. Alrighty. So, now, to set up a turntable, we'll need to get our resolution gate to show. So there it is there. Now you can see what's going to be in the render. And what we want to do is position the start and end point of my turntable. So get the camera in the spot that we want it to start from, and it should go all the way around and end in the same spot. Now just bring up my outliner here, and we select the main object that I want to do a turntable around. So that's the stitch character that I've imported. And I'll have to choose my perspective camera again, or this won't work. Okay, so now that that's done, go to animation, animate, turntable. Now I've already set up this scene to go for 400 frames because that's how many, well, that's just how many frames I wanted. So we're going to turntable and we go option, and we choose how many frames, so same length as my scene here. You can do counterclockwise or clockwise, and then we'll apply that, close, and now we are in our turntable camera, which can't move around because it's locked. So we'll just go back to our perspective and have a look at it. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, turntable camera's still there, just can't seem to see it. But that doesn't matter. Point is, we'll hop in our turntable and we'll just scrub our timeline here. You can see that it does the full animation there. And now in our render settings, well, before we do that, it's always good to name our cameras properly. So to call that one render cam. And then we'll go in our render settings. We want our renderable camera to be render cam. And we will set up our batch render so it has name, number, then extension. So that'll be like real stitch dot and then what frame number it is dot JPEG or TIFF, depending on what we want to save it out as. Then because we're going up to a 3-digit number, we put in the padding of 3 because Windows likes to do weird things with numerics and alphabetical stuff. Frame range will be from 1 to 400, so from start to finish. And it'll set up our resolution to be, well, I did 720, but if you got more time to render, then you should obviously set it higher. I've already, well, before I did all that, I've already gone through and set my presets to production, tweaked some of these bits here and there. And yeah, that's how we set up, we are ready for the render. And then to render out our batch render, we'll just go into render mode, render, batch render. Option should be okay, and then hit batch render and close. And then we should end up with a whole bunch of images that will compile in Adobe After Effects. We can also, if we want, we can do a play blast. We can render that out. It's pretty simple. And that'll just play it exactly like this with the whatever you have, the elements that you have turned on and off to display. So yeah, now we'll hop into Adobe After Effects. Okay, so here we are in Adobe After Effects, and we'll just make a new composition, and we'll make sure that the resolution is the same as our render, and we've got square pixels, and we've got to set this frame rate to 24 frames a second because that's the rendering the frame rate, in Maya. And we'll just get a duration of about 30 seconds, but of course you just kind of do an estimate and you can change this later anyway. So we'll just call this composition space stitch, and then we go OK. There it is, our comp. There it is, and we'll just import multiple files, and we'll find the first file from our batch renders for space stitch. There it is, first one, 001, and we'll make sure that JPEG sequence is ticked, and we'll import that as a footage. And there we go, open. We'll may as well do the same thing for our island stitch as well. There we go, and now we're done. And if we make another composition, same settings again, for island stitch. There we go, and we'll get our import that we just did, drag it into the timeline here, and we'll just position it to start there. Do the same thing for our space render. There we go. Now what we need to make sure is that we interpret the footage properly, so we'll right click on the import and interpret footage main, and we'll make the frame rate 24. Can't seem to. There we go. Setting it until we fix it. And we'll do the same thing. 24 frames a second. And that's extended out days. Alrighty. Now we'll trim our working area down to that last frame there. And then we can trim comp to work area. And make it the exact size. So just pressing N to do that, and then trim comp to work area. There we go. Now we've got these two compositions, and we can do all of our usual After Effects things to it. We can put them in a composition together, so I can make another composition. Sorry. I'll make this one about a minute long. And we can put the two compositions into that composition. And just like that. So then you'll play one after the other. You can do your usual After Effects things such as titles and effects from here. That's just a basic one there. And then to render that out, just drag your stitch into our render queue, composition, and set up the settings to make sure that we use 24 frames per second. I like to do that just in case. And just make it go for 1 minute exactly. Or actually, we'll just do our trimming. So we'll take that out there. And our register comp, and we'll just trim our comp like we did the other ones. So just like that. Trim comp to work area. Now we'll drag that in again. 24 frames a second. Make sure the resolution's right. Yeah. There you go. And make our output. I like to use QuickTime with Photo JPEG, but some people like to do it differently. There you go. Okay, now if you do have audio that you've attached to this, and you've got to make sure you tick it, or else you end up with nothing. Made that mistake many times. Then choose where you want to save it out. And that's probably great there. And we save. Then when we're all set up, we hit render. And that's how we render out our video. Okay, so here we have our final results. This is a render straight from Maya that I did. I set up a nice image playing in the background, and then duplicated the model a couple of times so we could show different angles of the characters, Island Stitch and Space Stitch. And here we have them with textures and roofs, just so you can see the contours, the modeling. I originally wanted to get some wire mesh kind of rendering going on here, but it didn't work for some reason. I had a lot of issues with that, so I just kind of left it. But I think it looks rather nice like this anyway. Okay, and then we have our render of Island Stitch. You can see the water's animating itself there. Got my light source coming in, creating nice shadows. And I've got the skybox reflecting in Stitch's eyes here. And in After Effects we've added a slow, we've done a time stretch and made this repeat a bit slower, so then people have more time to see some of the details on it. And then we have our Space Stitch video render. So we've got all these extra arms, antenna, got his mouth open aggressively, got his angry eyes, actually raised his nose a little bit as well. Got his back arched with his spine attached, his tail lowered. Just kind of giving that body language of, we're going to get away. It's got his curved ears and everything. And of course we've got our slowed down version here, straight after. Just like the other, just so people can take their time, take a look at the detail a bit more. So yes, that's my Real Stitch project. Alrighty. So that is my Real Stitch project special features video. I hope it was informative and it showed my processes. And you learned a lot, hopefully. Probably learned a bit too much in some spots. That doesn't matter. But yes, thank you for watching. and goodbye.